Hello and welcome back. I'm Glitch. Today I'm going to be literally rating every single card in Clash Royale. And also not for all of them because I'm only Arena 6. So there's like tons of cards that I haven't unlocked, but I'm going to try to for some of them do I'll tell you my favorite counters and stuff. I will be able to tell you a lot of them because I can play draft battles and stuff. Also, the new champion events, that's how I can tell for some other ones. But yeah, anyways, so let's start. We're gonna do all the troops first, then the buildings, then the spells. So, first up, we've got the Three Musketeers. Now, I'm gonna be reading all these cards out of 10, just so you know. These people are not worth their elixir. They're 9 elixir for Three Musketeers. And I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it's just the same strength as like a normal musketeer, but 3 of them. Like, it's really just pointless, and it's not worth the elixir. So I'm going to have to start off this one with a 1.5. I'm giving that a 1.5. Then we have a Golem. So this one for 8 elixir, I'm not too sure what it does. So I can't give it a rating because I'm not sure what it does. So then we got Giant, also known as Electro Giant. This guy, he's pretty good. Like, he can take out an entire Skarmy. And Skarmies, I personally love to counter big things with Skarmies, or even like Mini Pekka or Prince or like things like that. And I like to counter them with Skarmies. But this guy, he can pretty much block an entire Skarmy. Now, is he worth his elixir? I don't know, because yes, he can act as a very good distraction, but if you have an E-Giant coming towards your tower, you're going to want to block it, right? And this happens with like most giants, is that they don't even have the time to get there before they're already dead. So E-Giant, I'm going to have to go with a 5, solid 5. Then we've got Royal Recruits. So these guys, I don't know. I don't think they're worth their elixir because they split in. Well, first of all, they split into 2 groups. Like one group goes to the right and one group goes to the left, and there's 7 of the troops, which doesn't make it very effective because, well, you see, like, how do I put this? Like, if they're split into 2 groups, even if one group is stronger than the other, they're just not that strong of a group, and they're pretty easy to counter. And I don't think they're worth their elixir. Maybe even if it was just like 6 elixir, 5, 6 elixir, then it would be better. But I'm going to have to give this one a 3. Then we've got Pekka. You know, the classic Pekka. So this guy, well, sheesh, this guy is, he's big. I wonder what Pekka stands for. Wait, can I search? I'm going to search that up right now. Pekka stands for Perfect Enraged Night Killer of Assassins. What? What? Yo, what? Yo, that's pretty cool. Anyways, so Pekka, it's a good card. And if my friend who was on the last podcast was here, he would tell you that Pekka's like a good solid 8 or 9. But really, is he worth the elixir? Because something just like a Skarmy can instantly take him out. I think Mega Knight's much more worth his elixir because, I don't know, he can do like the jump. And Pekka, when he hits, I think he hits slower than Mega Knight. I'm pretty sure Mega Knight does less damage, but I don't think he does less damage by that much. And Mega Knight can hit more than one target. Like, if you spawn a Skarmy on a Pekka, well, he gets killed easy. If you spawn a Skarmy on a Mega Knight, he gets weakened, but he doesn't die. That is why that's my justification to make that Mega Knight's better. So Pekka, I'm going to have to give him a 6. Then we've got Lava Hound. So Lava Hound, I don't know, like 7 elixir, and all he does is fly across the map to get to a tower. Now he might do pretty good damage on the towers, but he's so slow to get there that you have time to like counter him, and you don't need something big to counter him. Like, you could just spawn in minions or even bats. Bats are easy enough to counter him. Now, when he does die, he splits into a bunch of little fireballs that fly in the air. But really, they're not great. So, yeah, Lava Hound, I'm going to give him like a 2.5. Not great. Next up, we've got Mega Knight. So, Mega Knight, yeah, this guy is known as one of the best. And I think he is one of the best. Now, since I'm only in Arena 6, I have a limited amount of cards, right? But since we have the new champions, you get to choose your dream deck, right? Pretty much. You have the one champion that you have to take, but you pretty much get to choose your dream deck. Now, I'm gonna tell you guys my dream deck at the end. And also, as we go through, if I land on one of the cards, I'll say, oh, this one's in my dream deck. But I'll recap it in the end anyways. So anyways, Mega Knight, I'm going to give him a 9. Now, he's not a 10 because he's a bit high on elixir. But he's super, super effective when it's on 2 times elixir. I don't know, you could spawn in like something like Inferno Dragon to kind of just distract. And then you have time to save up for Mega Knight. And then he claps hard like this guy. This man, Mega Knight, yeah, he's good. He deserves a great 9. Next up, we have Royal Giant. So once again, like I was saying with Giants, except Royal Giant is better because he has long-range hits. That is super effective. Like, really, really effective. Because most Giants don't make it to the tower. But if you spawn him right at the bridge, Royal Giant has at least time to get at least 1 or 2 hits, and he does a lot of damage to the towers. Even the castle, the towers, he does a lot of damage. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting him for the castle because people are going to want to protect that a lot more. But yeah, I think a best way to counter this guy is like Skarmy. I haven't even been talking about counters, but like I think this guy's Skarmy. And he's only 6 elixir. Now that makes me question. I've never used him, and I haven't seen him being used that much. But is it because he has less health or he does less damage to the towers? But like this guy has long range cannon, so like that's a big advantage. Next up, we've got Elite Barbarians. So, these guys, there's only 2 of them. Now, they're good to counter Mega Knight, actually. They can kill Mega Knight, which is, that's good. Now, to counter them, actually, Mega Knight's a good counter because he weakens them to, their last health bar. Pretty much to their death. But, I don't know. He's just... They don't seem that useful to me. They don't seem like attacking nor defense. Now, if you put a rage spell on them, that's maybe a different story. Still, though, not something I would put in my deck. Also, for counter, I'm not too sure. Probably Mega Knight. But yeah. Next up, we have Giant Skeleton. So, this guy, I actually used to use him. I didn't use him for that long, but everybody says he's really good. I have a different opinion about that. I don't think he's that great. And when you're in a battle with somebody, you have to pay 6 elixir for that. It's hard. It's hard to get that much when you're in a normal battle. Now, he can be very effective because he is a tank that can indeed hit people. So, if you would spawn in, Pekka, for example, he could attack the Pekka. Now, you could easily counter this with somebody like Minion Horde or even Pekka, because, you could counter it with Skarmy, too. Yeah, Skarmy is a good counter. I'm going to be using Skarmy for counter a lot because I use them for a lot of counters. But yeah, no. This guy, I don't know. Oh, actually, I forgot to rate the other ones. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, no, this guy, there is a problem though. When he dies, he does drop a bomb. Same thing. The balloon does the same thing, but that causes a big problem because he normally dies closer to the towers, and most of the time, if your troops are like Pekka, for example, they don't have time to get away, and they've already been weakened by him, so that's a problem. But this guy, I'm gonna have to give him a 6.5. Next up, we've got the Goblin Giant. So, I think they made 3 champions. If you didn't know by now, they made Golden Knight, they made Archer Queen, and Skeleton King. Now, I think they should have scratched Archer Queen and put in Goblin Giant. To be honest, Archer Queen is she's not my least favorite. Skeleton King's my least favorite, but my favorite's Golden Knight. Now, they should have made a Goblin champion, because that would, there's the human race, the goblins, and then the skeletons. Now, there's obviously more, but those are the 3 main ones, right? Anyways, so Goblin Giant, I'm not too entirely sure what it does. I know that it has 2 spear goblins on its back, I'm pretty sure. Now, for the rest, I don't know what it does, and I've never used it. Actually, I maybe have once or twice, but I don't really know how to counter it. I don't know it well enough. So, yeah, I can't rate that one. Next up, we've got Sparky. Now, this one would be on my dream deck if I had one. Sparky, my man. Sparky is really, really good. I love this guy. Now, most people are like, yeah, well, Sparky's not that strong. He doesn't have great health. He doesn't, really pack a punch. I think that's not, he actually does. He really does. I think he does. I think that Sparky, he's really, really, really effective. Now, he does take a while to recharge. If you had something like a rage spell, that would be pretty good. Now, I wouldn't use a rage spell in my dream deck, but Sparky would be, and he's really worth his elixir. Now, when I used Sparky, and I was doing the champion event, he really just destroyed. The other person would try to counter him so much, and normally by then I would have a tower down, so they would try to counter him so much, and then he'd get so much damage, but he'd still destroy everybody, and then he would have his last bit of health, he'd strike a hit on the castle, and then he'd die. But that is what I love about him, is he's really persistent, and he's really, really effective. So next up, we've got Archer Queen. Now, people say that she's the best because she can go camo. Now, I don't think she's the best, because when she does go camo, she only goes for 5 seconds, and she may be able to take out an entire Pekka, but she can easily be countered by you could spawn in a Valkyrie or something. She's not too hard to counter, and her arrows don't do sufficient damage for my liking. They're not that strong. She's not that great. So I'm gonna have to give her about a 4 out of 10. Yeah. So last for this episode, we have Barbarians. So these guys, I used to use them, and I used to think they were really good, but then when you get into Arena 5, 6, even 4, they just start to get useless, and it's easy to counter them. Now, not Skarmy. Don't think Skarmy. Skarmy's not good to counter them, because there's 5 Barbarians, and that does sufficient damage to the Skarmy, leaving none left. Now, Valkyrie is the person to counter them. or Baby Dragon. I don't normally use spells for countering people unless it's like Skarmy and stuff. But yeah, no, I wouldn't recommend using like Fireball if that's what you're thinking. I wouldn't recommend that. I'd recommend Baby Dragon or Valkyrie to defend. And but yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna give them maybe a 5.5 because they are annoying, but they just don't cut it. They're not that good. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's episode. Yeah, I'm just gonna split these episodes into more than one. It's probably gonna take a while because I'm just doing like let's see here, 4, 8. I did about like maybe 16 today, 16, 17 cards. Anyways, that took a while, but yeah, that's gonna be it for today, and I will continue it later. So yeah. God, I'm just joking. I'm gonna be doing every single card. Like, come on, let's take down a challenge now. So, next up we've got Minion Horde. Minion Horde. I love this card. This is a dream deck card. Like, I love this card so much. Problem though, they are high on elixir. Now, my question is it worth it? I think 4 elixir would be a more reasonable price for this card. It's a really, really good card, and I really love it because they're actually really strong. And I actually proved my friend wrong because he's like, oh, nah, Minion Horde sucks. And I'm like, come on, just use it for a high elixir deck. And it actually worked really well. And I used them on my dream deck. This is a dream deck card. I love this card. I absolutely love this card. Now, they're easy to counter. I'd recommend for countering Baby Dragon because it does splash damage. I'd recommend Fireball. I wouldn't recommend arrows because they don't do sufficient damage. Executioner. Yes, you should do Executioner. It's a really good counter. Otherwise, like any other card that does like, for example, like Inferno Dragon, or Musketeer can only hit one at a time. I do not recommend them because, well, there's 6 minions, and if you don't take care of them quickly enough, they do more damage than you think. Also, Hunter. Hunter's pretty good for them. Pretty sure he does 3. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he shoots 3 at a time. So yeah, Hunter probably too, but he reloads really slowly. That's just like a backup plan. Yeah. 3 Musketeers, not worth the elixir once again. So I'm going to have to give this Minion Horde a full-on 9.5. It would cut the 10 if it was a 4 elixir card, but it's sadly a 5 elixir card. So yeah. Then we have Rascals. So I'm not entirely sure of what they're capable of. I've used them a couple times. I know they have like a bat, like Bandit. I think 2 of them have a bat, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm gonna have to skip this card. It's same thing. It's like the Goblin Giant. I don't really know. So next up we have the Balloon. So my friend actually says this is his favorite card, and he's Arena 13. Like, he's a lot higher than me. I'm gonna have to. I'm not on his side there. Balloons, they are actually very hard to counter. Even if you spawn in like Baby Dragon or Princess, like it's a hard card to counter. Not my style of battling, though. My style of battling isn't the type that goes only for the towers and can't attack anybody else. Now, I do use Hog Rider, so that's something, but otherwise, like, no. Balloons, it's just, yeah, it does make the cut for me, and I'd say it is worth its elixir because it does then drop a bomb after. But yeah, no. And it does like heck damage to the towers. Like it destroys the towers, but like I don't know, that's not sufficient for me, you know? Next up we have the witch. So she's not that bad. I use her in my high elixir deck. Like if you do like triple elixir battles, I use her. For countering. Oh wait, let me just sorry. Let me rate the balloon here. Let me rate the balloon. I'm gonna give the balloon a solid 7. It's an effective card, just not my type. Anyways, sorry. Let's get back to witch. Yeah, she's kind of hard to counter, and she's actually annoying to counter. Now, somebody I do recommend for countering her is either Minion Horde or maybe Skarmy. But Skarmy, only use Skarmy if like you have to spawn Skarmy like right beside her. Like otherwise, it just Skarmy is not the person. Although I'd say the most effective counter on her is Princess, because if you spawn in Princess out of her range, Princess has like a really big range, but Witch doesn't, and Witch doesn't see Princess from that far. So, yeah, I'd say Princess to counter Witch would be the most effective, because it can hit like her skeletons and Witch at the same time. Next up, we have Prince. So Prince is a bit high on elixir. I don't know. I use him in my deck. He is part of my deck. I don't know. It's like, he's good. He's good, but he's easily countered by Witch. He's easily countered by Skarmy. He's easily countered by, like Mega Knight, Pekka, even Mini Pekka, Valkyrie. Like, he's pretty easily countered. He doesn't do too much damage to people. Like, he's got good health, but for what the card he is and how much elixir, he needs more health. And if I were making the game, if he didn't have more health, I'd make him a rare card. If he did have more health, then I'd keep him as an epic card. But yeah, no, that's my opinion of it. But yeah. So I'm gonna give him a proper 7.5. Let's say 8. Let's give him an 8. Next up, we've got Bowler. So Bowler, I don't know him too well at all. I know he throws boulders. I've never actually, I have used him on but I haven't seen him in action anyways. Because, you're always busy with something else. I used him in touchdown draft once, I think, but I wasn't paying attention to him. So I know that he throws boulders. Now, I don't know the amount of damage he does, nor his range. So I'm going to have to skip this because I don't know. I don't know. Next up, we've got Executioner. So Executioner is he's really good. Not worth his elixir, though. 4 elixir would have been a great cost for him. 5 is a bit too high for my liking, though. Now he's less easily countered. Skarmy is a big no-no. Minion Horde is a big no-no. I'd say Skeleton Dragons is also a big no-no. I've never seen them, but I can just imagine. Because he has a wide attack range. And he throws his axe like a boomerang, and that is really effective. And I haven't seen him too much in action. I don't know about his health. So I can't say anything about the health. Though for countering, I normally use Baby Dragon to counter him. Pekka might also be a good counter for him. I've never used Pekka against him, but I'd say that's a good counter. So I'm going to give him a solid 6.5 out of 10. He's pretty good. Can easily counter Minion Horde and Skarmy at the same time. Next up, we've got Cannon Cart. So I'm going to have to skip this one because I don't know much about it. I know that it's a cannon that can move around. I don't know if it has the same properties as cannon. I mean, that's something I'd like to know, but I don't know. So that's why I'm going to have to skip this one. But yeah. Next up, we've got Electro Dragon. Same thing. I'm going to have to skip this one. I don't know that much about it. I've seen it once in battle. And I didn't even see, I killed it too quickly. Next up, we've got Ram Rider. Once again, same thing. I don't know that much about this. So I'm going to have to skip this one too. So next on we have Giant. Well, Giant's, he's one of the starter cards you get in your starter deck. He's pretty easily countered. Like, if you just spawn in, like, Minion Horde, Skeleton Army. I don't know, like, Pekka, Mini Pekka, Mini Pekka and Skarmy is a great counter for him because of the person saving up elixir. Like, I'm not talking about, if you're in a sticky situation, that's a different situation. Yeah. That's a different story. But if like everybody just got killed and if he had time to save up for his giant, then you should have time to save up for something. So I recommend spawning in a Pekka, then saving up for Skarmy, and then spawning in Skarmy. Because if you spawn not Pekka, Mini Pekka. Because if you spawn in if you spawn in Skarmy first, it's not like the person's going to try to counter it with arrows. Now, if you spawn in Mini Pekka first, he gets sufficient damage on the giant, and then you spawn in Skarmy after. Then they just finish the job, right? Though for giant, I wouldn't recommend using him. He's just not. I don't know. So I'm gonna have to give him a probably a 4.5 out of 10. Yeah. Cause I don't know. Next up, we've got Royal Hogs. I don't know too much about these cards, but I know enough that I can rate them. These guys, they're pretty good. They're hard to counter. They are hard to counter, and they're really hard to counter in touchdown draft. They're a good card to have in touchdown draft. I don't know what I would recommend to counter them. Maybe Skarmy. I'd probably do Skarmy. Probably not Minion Horde because, well, I've tried it before. It doesn't work as well as Skarmy. Maybe something that could just one hit them all and just take them out one by one. Maybe Executioner. I've never tried that combo, counter, but yeah. Royal Hogs, I'm gonna give them a 3.5. They're not great. And they're not worth their elixir. Next up, we have Wizard. So, I use this guy in my deck. He's pretty good. He's not worth his elixir, though. He's not worth his 5 elixir. Because he doesn't have that much health, which is a problem. I think rare is a good setting for him. He doesn't really need to be common or epic. I think rare is good. He's got good range. He can easily counter a Skarmy. He can easily counter Minion Horde. Though his health is the big problem. He deserves a little bit more health, or he deserves to have 1 less elixir cost. I'm going to give this guy 7. Because he's easily countered. Now let me tell you easy counters. Fireball is a good counter. I'd say don't do Baby Dragon. Even if your Baby Dragon's level 10, just don't. Because his fire is a lot more powerful than Baby Dragon's. So yeah. Maybe a tank's good against him. I'd say maybe a Skeleton Giant. Yeah, that's probably the best. Yeah. So yeah. Next up, we've got Skeleton King. So this guy, he just doesn't make the cut. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do sufficient damage to the towers. Although he does work as a great distractor. His champion power, that's cost 1 elixir, and elixir really counts in this game. So, I don't know. It's just like he's not good. He's a good distractor, yes, but he doesn't even, like, if he spawned in an entire Skarmy, I mean, that would probably be too much overpowered. If you made it like 3 elixir cost and he could spawn an entire Skarmy, that'd be great. That'd be good. But he's just not, doesn't make the cut. So I'm gonna have to give this guy like maybe I'll be nice. I'll give him a 3. A 3. Next up, we've got Golden Knight. So Golden Knight, I just used him recently, like today, because I had to. I mean, I didn't have to, but I was doing the champion thing, the champion opening event. He's pretty good, though. His dash attack, it's nothing like Bandit's. Bandit's dash attack is like so good. His dash attack. It's not. No, it's not. It's not as good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. When he does use it, it is super effective. It can take out like half a Skarmy. But it's just he doesn't use it in the right moments. That's the thing, and it's AI controlled, right? His elixir power, the one that you can like pay an extra elixir for, I don't know what that does. I didn't understand the power. So I'm going to have to give this guy a good 6. A good 6. He's a good counter for like... Oh, if you want to counter him, I suggest... Skarmy's pretty good, but like he can take out half a Skarmy. So I suggest like Minion Horde, Sparky... I mean, even bats, really. I never used bats, and I probably never will. So, yeah. Next up, we've got Skeleton Dragons. So these guys suck. They are really bad. Like, they don't deserve 4 elixir. They need 3 elixir. These cards are really bad. Not as bad as, like, bats, but still bad. Like, there's nothing special. Like, and they're not strong. Their health sucks. Like, Baby Dragon versus them, they do, like, nothing. And their splash damage is probably a wider range than Baby Dragon's, but it's just not